In a week's time, one puppy showed up several times in their neighborhood. The lady didn't pay much attention to it, and then she saw it curled up near the side of a local grocery store, wet and covered in snow. Since their car was stuck in the snow, she and her friend had to carry the puppy in her hands. Once the little doggy warmed up and dried its fur, it started playing with the new owner. One man from North County came from work to see his house engulfed in fire. After seeing that his wife and 3 daughters were okay, he couldn't find the 6th member of their family, the dog. Without an ounce of hesitation, he pushed through the wall of flames and went inside to retrieve his best friend. The firefighters felt the anxiety with every passing second, but the man came out with his dog unharmed. The family is reunited again.
We love that dog, and I'm pretty sure there's people out there that would probably do the same thing I did.
After spotting a king cobra that was stuck in a fish net and unable to move, a group of people from India got together and carefully captured the snake. Once out of the forest, the villagers, as well as the entire world, saw something they've never seen before. The king cobra, one of the most venomous snakes in the world, stood still while this man gave it some water. After that, he carefully grabbed the snake by the head and cut open the net in order to free the cobra. It might seem like an ordinary house fire, but this one has an off-duty firefighter and an 85-pound dog inside. A few minutes earlier, when the house caught on fire, the family was out of there with no harm, but their dog was trapped inside. And here, you can see Tim, an off-duty firefighter, going inside and for 51 seconds trying to get their furry family member outside. For all of us who think that snakes are deadly and dangerous, which they are, here's an elderly gentleman that will show you differently. He's the type of man that likes to spend his retirement days fishing in the pond nearby. There, he made a few unusual friends. All of the water snakes know him, and whenever he goes fishing, they come to meet him up close. One of them he has named Big Bertha, which likes to climb on his lap to get a piece of fish from the man. Dealing with the Mendocino complex fire, this fire department lost one of its team members on a mission, but they didn't come home one member short. Instead, one of the firefighters found this German shepherd surrounded by fire. At first he thought it was a mountain lion, but after getting close to the animal he realized that it's just a dog clawing at the mud trying to get some water. This is the moment.
He says, "That's Dad." Oh, he remembers you, Patrick.
Yeah.
They adopted Mendo, a name given to him in honor of the Mendocino complex fire. This man saw a little bird trapped on the car's roof. He didn't know what it was at first, but after taking a closer look, he reached for a cardboard and slowly pulled the bird from beneath. This little guy was freezing to death. That's why the man took him back into his car and wrapped him in one of his sweatshirts. After the birdie recovered, he released it into the wild. The fire department in Carlsbad, California, received a distressing call. A house had caught on fire. Acting quickly, the team was on site in a matter of seconds and started putting out the fire. As soon as they cleared the way to get inside, they saw the 2 limp bodies of the family's dogs. They quickly carried them outside, and after giving them an oxygen mask, the dogs recovered quickly. She was so small and fragile, I was even afraid to hold her in my arms. This is how a lady describes finding an abandoned baby sparrow that they rescued. When they took her home, they didn't know anything about taking care of baby birds. After a lot of reading and asking around, they learned a lot, and now this sparrow has occupied the entire living room of their house, and he doesn't want to leave. They tried releasing her into the wild, but after a few seconds spent on the tree, she came back to them. Using their brand new thermal imaging cameras, the LA firefighters managed to save a dog from a burning building. They found the little pet on the bedroom floor. They grabbed it and rushed to get it outside. They tried resuscitating the dog, but they could see it needed medical help. The firefighters took it to the nearest animal hospital, and the family has said the dog will remain there until she fully recovers. If you appreciated this act of kindness, smash that like button if you haven't done so already. A lady from Tulsa, Oklahoma called the local fire department because a dog got stuck under the patio. Realizing that she and her husband couldn't get them out, a team quickly went to their home and got to work. Just by unscrewing one of the planks, the dog had enough room to wiggle himself out of there. A man found a mother goose that kept shoving one of her babies away. Before long, he was shoved under a pipe alone and helpless. This man saw the unwanted baby and he took the gosling home. He took care of it and nurtured it to adulthood. Now the little gosling has turned into a big goose named Waddles. Well, she seemed like a happy bird, but then a car accident shattered her wing, and now she is learning to live life without the wing. See that dog perched up on the pillar? Well, the locals tried getting him out from the barbed wire, but the dog grew more and more aggressive the more he stood up there. Eventually, they called the fire department, which had to restrain the dog first before they were able to cut the barbed wire and free him.
Hold him. You're good. And get him evaluated and hopefully reunite him with his owners.
Observing the wildlife in the Rocky Mountains through his binoculars, he saw a mother abandon one of the fawns, and the man knew what he had to do. Living in a remote area, there were no animal shelters nearby, and the nocturnal predators would easily pick her off. Not wanting to wait, he took the little fawn home and nurtured her. She had a broken leg, so the man made a special brace for her, and he kept feeding her every 4 hours. After she got better, the fawn was reunited with her mother, and here you can see the three of them hanging together. This elderly gentleman was in a pretty bad car accident, and as a result he was trapped inside his vehicle. Since it was tipped over, he couldn't get out. When the Mesa Fire Department arrived, they broke the windshield, and before they could pull out the elderly gentleman, they realized there was a small dog inside. This little girl saw a baby fox stuck between the fence in their backyard. She immediately called her mommy and they picked it up. Just like any other girl, she wanted to keep Softy. Her mom was worried, given that it was a wild animal, but still they took him in, fed him through a syringe and allowed it to roam free in their backyard until it got better. Then, one evening, its mom came in the backyard, called for it, and the baby practically ran to her. The mama fox then carried her baby away. This couple's house burned down, and the fire department acted hastily. After extinguishing the fire, it was safe for the crew to get inside, and as if by sheer miracle, they found the girl's pet still alive and well. When the fireman brought the kitty cat to the girl, she was in shock and tears of joy started coming down her cheeks. Okay, this is probably the most heartwarming story we have on the list. It's about a cat that asked for help from his friend. The greyish-white cat was perfectly fine, but his friend, the ginger cat, had a problem with its back leg. After filming the troubles he was going through, a vet came on site, managed to capture, then give it the necessary treatment. After a while, the little kitty made a speedy recovery. A stray dog found itself stuck in some molten rubber. The only thing the construction workers could hear was the little canine's squeals. Not wanting to waste a single moment, they banded together and got to work. A bulldozer dug out the dog and a few workers started cleaning the molten rubber. After the excruciating work, they finally managed to clean the dog entirely. This little kitten got stranded in the middle of a highway. The cars were zapping past it, and we thought this little cat would be a goner. However, when all hope seemed lost, one man stopped right in front of it. He got out of his car in the middle of the busy highway, picked up the kitten, and took it with him. We just hope this little cat gets the treatment and care it deserves. Richard is an elderly gentleman from Florida who saw one puppy getting attacked by a baby alligator. Not wanting to waste any time, he threw himself into the water, grabbed the puppy, but realized that the gator's jaws were clenched shut on the abdomen of the puppy. Using all his force, he managed to slowly open up the alligator's jaw, and the puppy managed to get away. A waste separator from a small town in Russia thought he was having a normal day at work when he was separating the trash. Then something moved inside one plastic bag. The man hastily moved the bag off the conveyor belt, opened it up, and then realized that someone threw a live cat. The man realized it, and judging by the look of disappointment, we could see just how much his heart sank at that moment. Thanks for watching, guys.